Today I'm here with Tautai. You may have seen him from TikTok, Instagram. In fact, that's actually how I found you. We were
really?
just talking about
Yeah.
Did I tell you that? We were
Yeah,
talking
I think
about
so.
like 5 different topics a second ago.
No, for real.
But there's this super funny, he has so many funny videos, but there's a super funny one of you guys dancing that I sent to my entire family. We thought it was so funny.
Oh, man.
And then I started
know.
watching your stuff and I was like, this guy's awesome. I want to have him on my podcast.
Thanks, Miss Christina.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here. Before we get too deep into it,
Yeah.
I'm just it's a weird question.
Yeah.
What'd you have for breakfast this morning?
I had, what's that one cereal? I took it out of
Cereal?
I had cereal.
You still eat cereal as mom?
Well, because I have like 8 boxes because my kids, they're all
that's
picky
very
with
true.
it.
I didn't even
and
think
so
about
I just
it.
eat whatever they're eating.
Okay, what cereal was it?
I forgot, what's that? I forgot what it's called. It's the one that has like the flakes and the nuts and the stuff. Honey Bunches of Oats.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's goated. That's good.
know,
Did
right?
you like it? It was good?
No.
Oh, well then if you didn't
I
like
actually don't like cereal at all.
Oh, wow. Well, interesting. Well, if you didn't like it, I just stopped by our local Nothing Bundt Cake on my way over here. Just wanted to give this to
That is
you.
so nice
yes,
of
as a
you.
gesture. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Yes.
I'm not kidding. When you walked in, I was like, oh, maybe he's hungry. I should get him some food.
Oh yeah,
And
no,
I'm
yeah. I
probably-
packed my lunch, No. So that's for you. I didn't know what flavor to pick, so I
you.
just guessed, and
That's so
you can have it if you want. Give it
nice.
to your kid or just whatever.
Thank you so much. That
Yeah,
was
no
so
worries.
thoughtful.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
excited.
Yeah, me too. I'm
I
excited.
really did think, I'm like, oh, maybe he needs to hurry and eat or something.
Yeah, just pack my lunch on the way here to the podcast.
Bring it.
Yeah.
You're like, is it okay if I eat while we do this?
I know, seriously. Mukbang maybe? Mukbang episode?
It'll get awkward really fast. That's
I love
okay.
it.
It's
I
cool.
love it.
Okay, so we were kind of not commenting, messaging back and forth, and I was like, "What's something cool that you've been through?" And when we were talking before we even recorded, I actually like what you said. You said something along the lines of, and you can correct me where I'm wrong, but
Sure.
something along the lines of, I haven't been through anything super traumatic in my life, which is so nice to be able to say that, by the way. Like, you had a stable upbringing. That's kind of amazing and rare. but you said, but I'm preparing for that, because truth is, like, if you haven't been through that, something will happen. So what did you mean by that you're like preparing for that?
No, and exactly what you said. I count my blessings every day, right? The slightest thing,
That's why you're
the
so
smallest
happy.
thing. And that's exactly why I'm so happy. You know what I mean? Because I don't take the little things for granted personally. Like, I really don't. The cereal I was able to eat this morning.
Yeah.
I promise you, because of my LDS mission, I know kids who will not have breakfast this morning.
Yeah.
As a fact.
Where was your mission?
The Marshall Islands Kittibis mission.
Marshall Islands?
Yes, Kittibis, specifically the Gilbert
Wow.
Islands. I will never complain about bread. I will never complain about running water, even if my shower's too cold. I appreciate the little things, you know what I mean? And so, but to your point, I also believe it's a little rare that I haven't had like any super hard trials in my life. Yeah, sure, life's been hard.
Yeah, yeah.
It always is for everybody in their own, personal space.
Yeah.
I haven't had that yet. And hopefully, and it's my belief, it's because I've been doing my best to try to follow God's commandments, or just try to be a good person in general. I'm a big believer about what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
So if I'm spreading positivity, hopefully it's relayed back to myself. But to answer your question, I'm going to prepare myself, because I know that life isn't always like this.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some books that I love to read, scriptures, for another word for it, like, you would never know the sunshine if you never saw the rain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You would
Yes,
never
I do know what you mean.
You would never appreciate the sun if you never had a rainy day.
Yeah.
So prepare yourself for the rainy days, right? Prepare yourself right now. That way it won't even be a question. When life hits you like a truck, you're like, hey, I made this decision long time ago that I'm going to be ready for this.
How
right?
do you prepare yourself, though?
You just got to stay solid. Consistency.
Solid.
Did I say that right? Consistency?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
okay. you just got to stay solid, man.
Yeah.
And if you waver a little bit, take your time, let that humanness get to you, and then get back on the track as fast as you can,
Yeah.
And God will meet you where you're at. But how you prepare is this, like I said, doing the little things, right? Being a good human being, just in general. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? If you don't believe in a God, totally fine. But you have to believe in something, a higher power. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, there's energy around
Or else why are we
all of
here?
us. Exactly. Why are we here? There's no purpose of this. That's why I'm a firm believer that everything has a specific design and
Yeah.
a specific order.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
And if as creatures in this society, we have to follow along the lines that were given to us.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Totally.
That's how I
Yeah.
prepare myself.
You know, I love that you said that. And here's one of the things that I love about you. I was telling this to John before you got here because I was showing some of the clips to him. I noticed that you have some friends who might not be living the same way that you are. And I love that about you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I have friends that are very different, vastly different from how I live and
Sure.
how I believe and things like that. But you could see it just in your videos, and maybe I was diving too deep into this, but like I could tell from your videos that you guys really love each other and that you guys are accepting of each other and that you want to build each other up no matter where they are.
It's like, why wouldn't we?
Right.
Some of my best friends smoke.
Yeah.
Some of my best friends drink.
Yeah.
Some of them, do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Why would I not hang out with them though? That
Yeah.
doesn't make them any less of a friend of mine.
Right.
Right? Now, because those are my friends, those are my peoples, I know their heart, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's so nice of you to say that, I'm hanging out with these people. Like, oh girl, I have faults of my own. Believe
We all
me,
do.
right? And it's
Yeah.
like, we're all a group of sinners, but collectively,
Yeah.
we can fight sin together. Like we
Yeah.
can try, like, why would you not want to have a group of people to help you along this journey?
Totally.
Right? Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Kind of what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
or even if you just believe differently, like for example, one of my best friends, shout out to Brittany Polson. She's one of my very best friends. She waited outside the temple. I got married in the Salt Lake Temple, the LDS
Beautiful.
temple. And she and her then girlfriend, now wife, they waited outside for me. There was no judgment from them to me for the way that I chose to get married and live. And they have no judgment towards them. I love them. They're two of my favorite people on planet Earth. And she and I will text all the time, and she doesn't judge me either. And she'll joke about my lifestyle and stuff like that, but it's all in jest, and we love each other, and there's no
Right.
taking offense. I love seeing stuff like that.
Exactly. Well, and you know where you can see it? It's a book called the Bible. You tell me who Jesus was running
Have you
around
heard of
with. Who was he running around with?
Right.
Sinners.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He wanted to hang out with
Because
the people
we
that
are
were
all
struggling.
sinners.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm like, dude, like, no judgment ever. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not our job to judge.
Right.
As a natural, like the humanness in us, like it's something I struggle with too, is assuming things, right? First judgment, on a surface level. And that's something that I've been trying to work with
Yeah.
myself,
Oh yeah. There's so many. I'm so blatantly aware of everything I have going on with me right now that I need to work on.
Yes, I'm there
There's
with
a
you.
lot.
No, for sure.
You mentioned something before when we were just like I said, we talked about 5 different things and we
Yeah,
started
I
talking.
know,
We're
I
both
know.
very chatty. But you said there's something with content creation, and you kind of just alluded to it that's been kind of difficult for you. Do you mind? But he didn't actually tell me what it was. Do you mind telling me what it is?
I don't mind at all. It's Elder TikTok. We're here on Good Things Spotlight, right? We're open here. You know what I mean? Like we talk, and we're gonna be honest and real with everybody. As a fellow content creator, right? We are putting ourselves out there, right?
Yeah.
And we're not afraid for the world to see. You know what I mean?
Well, sometimes I'm afraid, but yeah, you're right.
Exactly, right? So there comes a certain point, like for me, see, and it's good that you have this consciousness. For me, it's a bad thing because I'm like, I don't care, I'll post whatever, right? And then I'll have people who care about me like, hey,
Tamp it down.
tap it down, exactly. And I'm like, oh, maybe they're right. You know what I mean? But that's how I know they care, right?
Yeah.
Comments in my videos, they don't get to me no more. To be honest,
awesome.
I have
That's so
thick
cool.
skin,
Yeah.
and it's because of social media that I have thick skin. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You can disagree with me all you want.
Yeah.
That is totally fine. I would actually rather you disagree with me and we have a conversation
Yeah.
rather than following blindly, essentially, or just be like, oh, I like him, so yeah, what he says is cool. It's like,
Yeah.
no. What's one of the biggest things?
dive in.
Like dive in. What is the biggest, most important things in any relationship? It's communication.
Yeah.
Right? Communication with a friend, family member, spouse, partner, right? Why can't we communicate with each other like normally, right?
Yeah.
Yes, content creation. I have so many haters, right? The haters are just growing by the day.
Which
right?
is so weird to me because you're so fun and funny.
Oh,
and
thanks, Miss Christina. Thank you. I try to be, right? And as much effort as I'm putting in to try to spread positivity and love,
Yeah.
The internet is a crazy place, man. The world is even crazier. You know what I mean?
Well, when you're doing good, there's gonna be bad that fights against it, right?
So I'm doing good,
Yeah.
right? I think I'm spreading positivity. Comments, yeah, they're okay, but like something I've had to overcome a few years back is when it was comments and then it was threats online.
Threats?
And then oh yeah, as a content creator, oh yeah, you better believe, yeah. And then I don't really pay attention to the threats online because I'm like, well, I have evidence that you're gonna threaten me, so if you do it, like you're pretty much in trouble. But No, there was a time where it got physical with me. Like, just to be like pretty transparent, I got assaulted because of my content creation.
Seriously?
100% true story. I I got jumped after a party
What?
because someone didn't like the content I was creating.
What?
100%.
Wait.
And that really, sorry, go ahead.
No. What specifically about your content?
They didn't like it. They didn't agree with it.
People are psychotic.
A little bit, right? And that was an eye opener to me. Christina, if you walk out of this podcast right now tonight and some Utah Mormon mom jumps you and then you're like, why are you jumping? Why are you beating me up? It's like,
With her strollers.
yeah, throws the Stanley at you, what's up? It's like, oh, I just don't like what you're doing. I don't like your content. I'm like, you couldn't have DM'd me that? You know what I mean? What? You couldn't have like called me and asked me. So that opened my mind to like the true, like real hate in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I can't believe you were jumped. Now, were you like seriously injured?
Oh yeah, I was. So at the time I was on a spring break and I was playing college football at the time. And that seriously ruined my chances of like playing because I went back to school, practice. I couldn't practice for 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Because first of all, like, I had some like aftermath, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on top of that, they were just concerned about concussions, other things. So even though I felt good, I'm like, coach, like I'm good. Like, let me go. And he's like, nah, like protocol, like we got to keep this. And I totally understand. But because of that, like, who knows? Maybe I would have still been playing football to this day. Maybe not. But yeah.
Who did you play for?
I played for the College of Idaho. It's a small school in Idaho.
I was about to guess BYU.
Oh, no. This is just shout out to Wood and Grail for sponsoring my fit for today's video. Yeah, no, I wasn't BYU good, but I love football. Football.
Who doesn't?
Funny enough, that's another thing I had to overcome was like when I found out football wasn't for me, I had to accept it. But when one door closes, another one opens. So now I'm a content creator. So
is that what you did? You went from football to content creation?
So yes and no. My content creation career started in 2019. Because of my mission, right? I took it seriously, when I came home from football. Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, so Guam is in your mission, right? Were you in Guam?
So that's the same. So it's in Micronesia. Yeah, it's in Micronesia. So the Gilbert Islands is my specific.
Okay,
home.
so it wasn't Guam. So okay.
No, but it's very close. Pohnpei, Guam, Marshall Islands, all
Jeez.
that. Geographically, you were spot on.
What's the craziest thing? Because I served a mission too. I don't know.
Where'd you go?
That. I went to New York, New Jersey, Spanish.
No way.
Yeah,
Hablas español también.
Ay, pues.
Mi abuelo es culiacán de México. Yo soy mexicano también. Sí, creo que sí.
Wait, so are you Hispanic and Polynesian?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because I'm like, your name is Tautai.
Yes, exactly.
I'm like, but your Spanish is perfect.
Oh, thank you. So that's like the only phrase I know in Spanish. So please don't.
I was like,
don't go any longer. Don't go any longer. No, it's funny. So
vamos a hablar solamente en español por el resto del podcast.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I just said we're going to speak in Spanish the whole rest of the time.
I know, right? Shout out to the Latino community. So my mom is Mexican Spanish, and my dad's full Samoan.
Wow.
And yeah, mi abuelo de Culiacan, he ran away from home when he was 14 and met my grandma in Hawaii. Kind of crazy story.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I'm part Mexican as well. I love my Mexican side.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you served in New York?
I was like, I was mostly New Jersey and included like a part of New York and stuff. But New York's way cooler, so you got to include that part. But yeah, no, I saw so much stuff. And anyone who's ever served a mission saw stuff. So that's why I was asking, like, what's the craziest thing you saw there?
Oh my goodness. Some of the
because your mission's a little bit cooler, so.
Man, every mission is cool in their own aspect, but mine, okay. I think I've talked about this before, but man, I've seen some crazy stuff. Social media, I gotta remember. I had to unalive a turtle for food on my mission.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because the people were like offering this, or like what?
Oh, that's all we had.
What?
Oh yeah, so in the Gilbert Islands,
I feel so bad, a turtle.
I know, and my favorite Disney movie is Nemo. So shout out Crush. I apologize. So I had to watch that process happen. Kind of gruesome a little bit, but how are we gonna eat? On my mission, we don't have.
They don't have like a store.
We have a store, but we are the last island to receive shipment from the main island.
Oh.
And mind you,
this is how tiny that is.
This is how tiny
so
this is.
So it's smaller than Guam.
If you want to edit this in, 100% smaller than Guam.
Wow.
500 population max. Like there's no way.
Seriously?
Girl, if you look my mission up on Google Maps, what have you, you will be zooming in for a couple minutes. It's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, right? So these people are literally living off the land. It's a third world country. No one believes this. If I didn't have pictures and videos, you guys would probably think I'm lying. Had to see that happen. when people pass away, you know, it's disrespectful in their culture to just kind of like waste their body, right? Because it's so like the body is sacred, you know.
Yeah.
So you have your stick hut of a house, you have your kitchen, and then your daughter's buried right there
Oh.
on your house premises.
Oh.
A little crazy, right? But they want their bodies to be so close to home that they're not going to send it on the ocean. They're not going to cremate it. So I literally had to see daughters of God, sons of God, just like right there in the flesh, but they're, you know, not with us anymore. I had to witness, what's something else? I couldn't, you know what's crazy about this world? Like, people will always find an excuse to get people in trouble, especially, you know, Karens, to use, Gen Z lingo terms. They don't have clothes over there.
Yeah, we're so spoiled.
They don't have Gucci. They don't have Prada. They don't have Nike. They don't have
Yeah.
anything. So you see little kids running around naked all the time. But that's life for them. You know what I mean? It's beautiful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't have anything, but with the gospel, with God, with the things that matter most, they have everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They do. So did you just fall in love with the people there?
Fell in love. Did not want to leave. Have you ever seen The Other Side of Heaven by
Yes.
chance?
Yeah.
I imagine that times 3. That was my mission.
Seriously?
Seriously, 100%.
So when you got your mission call, were you just like, what?
I was like, oh, I wanted Samoa. Dang it.
Because you were raised here though, right?
Correct. Born and raised in the 801.
Yep.
Yep. Happy Valley. Happy
The
Valley grown.
801.
Yep. And so I was like, I want to serve in Samoa like my ancestors,
Yeah,
you know? No, you're going to Marshall Islands. I pronounced my mission call wrong. And I was just really mad. I was sad. I'm like, I've been faithful my whole life. I've been a good deacon. I've been a good priest and a teacher. All I wanted was to serve in Samoa. But going to Kiribati, being there, falling in love, like you said, with the
Yes.
place, wouldn't have changed a thing.
Oh, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. I love hearing. It's crazy because like if you're in Utah, you hear so many mission stories and people always start with, oh, sorry, it's a mission story. But if you're not familiar with this culture, they're the most mind-blowing stories you've ever heard in your entire life.
Exactly.
Imagine someone from, a spoiled state like Utah, like where everyone, like this is so funny. So not that there's a huge drastic difference between Arizona and Utah, but when I moved to Utah, where I'm from Arizona, and people would tell me, oh, the ghetto, they would say where the ghetto is. And I was like, oh, honey, you don't know
Are you
ghetto.
talking about the ghetto here in Utah?
In Utah.
There is no ghetto
I
in
know,
Utah.
that's what I'm
There
saying.
is zero ghetto in Utah.
That's what I'm saying.
Stop
Like,
it.
oh, like, and they named the, I don't want to say it because in case someone like lives there and I don't want to hurt their feelings, but like, and I went over there and I was like, this is not the ghetto. Are you kidding me? Like, I've seen real ghetto. That's not.
I hear you, girl. And when people are like, you're young and you're in high school, maybe even early college, you don't even have to include this part, but it's like, yo, bro, how many bodies you got, right? In Utah, that means how many makeout sessions you have, not the other thing.
Body count is very different in the
body
world.
count in Utah is vastly different from outside of the bubble, right? It's so funny because I'll have cousins, friends who come to Utah, and they're asking all these questions, but everything is diluted down in Utah.
Yes.
The
Which
hood,
I kind of
the
love.
hood. Are you talking about? Are you talking about Orem, Utah? Is that the hood to you? Stop playing.
I'm like,
Stop playing. Vineyard.
yeah, no.
Stop playing. Right? No, it's like everything in Utah is diluted down a little bit. You know what I mean? Just because of this weird conception that we have as LDS people.
Yeah, you know what's kind of interesting? So, like I said, I'm from Arizona, and I swore I'd never live in Utah, and here I am, and I absolutely love it. I love Utah, and I remember thinking like, oh, they're so sheltered, or they're so this, or they're so all the things that I thought were so annoying. Now that I'm here, and now that I have kids, I love that so much. In fact, my husband's like, you are kind of sheltering your kids the way that you made fun of other people for being sheltered.
You are.
I am. I'm like, they're
are.
not going to have phones. They're not going to have social media, like until they're a lot older if they want it, But all my, my kids, their friends, they have phones and stuff. I'm like, absolutely not. No, it's just not going to happen.
Wow, that's
I'm
how
not
I
doing
grew up
that.
too.
Really?
Yeah.
But see, look at you.
Exactly. And my parents were amazing. I love
Yeah.
it. So I wanted to ask you as a mother, like, do your kids come to you and like, Mom, Jesse has a phone, or they have do your kids, like, I don't really care, but do your kids have curfew kind of thing?
Well, they're too young. I mean, my oldest is 11, so
Oh,
yeah,
got
they're
you,
all
got you.
with
Okay,
us.
they're still
but
young.
like,
Okay, got
so
you.
they definitely
Are you planning on giving your kids curfew when they're older?
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll give them a curfew.
Since I'm a Polynesian Mexican offspring, I was so jealous of my other Utah friends whose families were like, just come home whenever, you'll be good, right? And to every individual, to each their own parenting tactics. I
Yeah,
get that,
yeah.
but that's not how I was raised. Because
Yeah.
my parents were like, no, I'm not going to bed until you're here,
Yeah.
right? Check in with me. If you have a blessing of having a phone,
Yeah.
you better be checking in, right? And looking back on it, I'm like, that's good parenting, right?
Yeah,
And it sounds like
totally.
you might have some similar plans to do that.
I
No?
have similar plans to do that. I had a really like autonomous, we'll call it, upbringing. I mean, my mom and dad got divorced, and then I lived mostly with my dad, and he worked crazy hours, so it's like I was on my own, and so he kind of had no choice but to just trust whatever I did, you know.
And you did mention you were raised unsheltered-ish, right?
Yeah, no,
Correct?
I'm not sheltered.
And you
not
know
sheltered.
what? That's what I'm trying to tell these kids, to go on a mission,
Yeah.
experience the world. Because to be honest, you are sheltered here. If you
Yeah,
want to
you're
open
kinda
your eyes to the
sheltered.
world, serve a mission, and you'll be like,
Yes.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Mom, why didn't you tell me this?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I totally know what you mean. But it's actually so good to see it though too, because
Mm.
it just reminds you, like my husband and I just got back from Cambodia and Vietnam, and they would give anything to have a freaking McDonald's job here. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just to be here. And then, so how old are you again? 23?
23.
Okay, so, oh my gosh, I feel so old to say this, but people in your age group, oh, it's so
Don't-
old.
No, you're
But
good.
like people in your age group, you see this so much on, TikTok and Instagram and stuff. They say stuff all the time. Like, I can't believe I have to work a 9 to 5. And they say all these things. I'm like, do you know how spoiled you are?
You
Like,
are.
oh my gosh, like working is a blessing.
Seriously.
Like get up and work. In fact, I had someone ask me the other day, I want to know what you think about this, because
100.
you seem to have your head on straight more so than a lot of
Oh,
other people
thanks.
your age.
Thanks, Chrissy. I appreciate it.
But someone asked me the other day, like, hey, what does your husband do? And he was really curious about it. And I was telling him, he said, well, what do I got to do to, be successful and all this stuff? And I said, do you really want to know? And I knew this, we didn't have the same religion or anything like that. And I
Okay.
said, if you really want to know, I'll tell you. And he was like, yeah. And I said, do a couple things, put all your faith in God, but not just like in a buzzword way, not like, oh, faith in God, and then don't do anything about it. Like actually rely on him and do good things so that it shows that you rely on him. But second, get up and work hard. Be thankful for the extra hours. Go in on weekends. There's even people that like I have like working for me. They're like, oh, sorry, I don't work past 5. So, or we don't work on the weekends. And I'm like, that is so different from how I was raised. What do you think about that?
That formula is beautiful. First of all, part one, trust in God, right? God cares about what you care about, right?
Yeah.
If you want this and you don't know where to start, you don't know what to do, there's one person you should probably invest in, and that's
Yeah.
the Heavenly Father. You know what I
Totally.
mean? And He will guide you. Trust Him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He will be your best business partner, 100,000%.
Yeah.
Right? Part two, work is an essential principle of life,
Yeah.
in my opinion,
Yeah.
right? And as Christians, you can't go through life like moseying on. You got to work hard for
Yeah.
things, right? And we can even dive like deep into this. Like, you even got to work for your belief. What are you
yeah.
doing to strengthen your testimony? Are you just idly going by yourself? Like, no, test your belief, right?
Yeah.
Work hard for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've had to, as a content creator, I've had to make sacrifices, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to work on my craft. If I'm passionate about videos, I want to work on my craft.
Yeah.
Hey, Elder TikTok, we got this function, we got this party. That sounds fun. I just got to edit this video. You know what I mean?
Good for you.
Hey, we're trying to go grab a bite. Probably should just eat cereal at home, but I got this video I want to edit, right? Or I got to plan out my videos for tomorrow, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, work is an eternal, like, you can find it in scriptures. Faith without what?
Works
is
dead.
dead,
Yeah.
right? We have to work in this life, right?
Yeah.
And when you're working, you're providing what? Effort.
And
And
you
the
feel
Lord
good.
loves effort, right? And it
Yes.
feels good.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it feels good. If you are putting forth work in anything in life, showing commitment, showing passion, showing ethic, the Lord will reward you for effort, period.
Totally. So what plans do you have coming up then? Like what's your plan with, all your content creation? Do you have any big plans?
Man, big plans is, this year, my 2024 content creation year, I want to be versatile. I want to do it all in this space, right? Making videos. I have a script for a movie that I'm hoping, to get that would get the right eyes and ears, right? Yeah. I'm working on my first song ever, nothing too crazy. It's just, a song. I'm a creator. I like to create things,
Yeah.
right? We have functions coming up. I'm speaking at a Book of Mormon Expo next month. You're more than welcome to come.
So cool.
You know what
I'd
I mean?
love
Just
to.
let me know. It's a convention of scholars, right? It's so funny. They're gonna have scriptorians there, historians there,
Yeah.
church scholars, and they're like, yeah, let's bring this TikTok kid over here. Maybe he can say something. I'm like,
That's awesome.
okay, like I'll come say something. And no, my main goal, Christina, is I want people to look at me, my platform, and at the end of the day, they're gonna know what I stand for,
Yep.
what my beliefs are, what kind of person I am. Why am I so positive? Why do I love people? And you'll know it's because of my beliefs and how I was raised. I just really want the world to see, content creators like me and yourself as people who want to spread the good word.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, we've been talking about church topics and stuff like that, but church aside,
Yeah.
we just want to be good people in general.
Good people. Yeah, totally.
It's kind of hard to find real people like that in today's world, no?
Oh yeah. Well, even with a bunch of content creators too, because there's so much fighting against that. The stuff that gets attention is salacious and dirty, and
Yeah, I hear you.
stuff like that.
I hear you, but that's the world right now, right?
Yeah.
They want the dirty, they want the grimy, they want the the edgy stuff. They want the stuff that like people are gonna be buzzing and talking about.
Yeah.
But for Good Things Spotlight podcast, there will always be people here. We may not have 1 million followers. We may not have the traction that these other worldly people do, but you will always know that it's positive vibes here, and we're just really trying to spread light, like we're talking about on this podcast. It's just spreading light. It's really simple.
And you do such a good job of that. And you know what? At the end of the day, too, we can go to sleep at night knowing that we were trying to do good things, and we have peace in our lives and real joy, And this is not to say, because we just live so righteously. Like, of course we each have our things,
Oh yeah, no, we're not. That's not what we're trying to say.
No, not at all. But you do such a good job, and I really, it's like you said, people will know exactly what you stand for, because I knew before even meeting you what you stood for, which is why I wanted to have you on.
Exactly, and that's my whole goal, right? And that's another thing that I've tried to develop as a content creator is, and I'll ask you personally, because it's our first time meeting and whatever, who you see on camera is who you're going to get on real life.
Yeah.
If I'm going to talk about being real, if I'm going to talk about being authentic, it can't be two-faced.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So I really want to portray myself, like who you see behind TikTok or in person, you're going to get the same person.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming and talking today.
Thank you for having me.
Because you do so much for other people, and you do funny stuff, but I wanted to hear all about you. So thanks for doing that.
No, and thank you too. I love what you're doing here. I really hope people will watch, clips of this and know that there's a mom from Utah, right? Technically from Arizona, right? Who is unsheltered, but you're not afraid to put, like, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if there's a lot of other respectfully, like Utah Mormon moms who will do something like this on a Thursday, right? Like who takes their time out to talk about good energy and good vibes and stuff like that. So you know what? I really appreciate what you do. So thank you for the invitation, and this was a blessing. Seriously.
Thank you. It was to me too. Thank you so much.
Love it.